What is up, guys? Greedy Knight here with a few things to talk about in regards to Title Update 4. I'll be primarily looking at the new potential gear we might be getting for Tuesday, whenever we get into that. But basically, the two main monsters we're getting, or the only two monsters we're getting, are Valstrax, or Risen Valstrax and Velkhana. The reason why these guys are big deals is because they can actually shake up the meta for both Dragon and Ice. So I'll be looking at Velkhana first. So this is the Charge Blade for Velkhana. We're not going to look at its armor just yet because a few monsters got their armor reworked. So we can't guarantee whether or not the armor will stay as is when it was imported from Iceborne to Sunbreak. So yeah, so for the Ice Guardian and the Regal Daruk, basically it's a good spinning axe weapon, just having that bar of white with some amount of purple. What is it? Or it looks like it's default purple, so I did not play World, so correct me in the comments, but basically you're gonna run this as a spinning axe weapon for ice at the minimum, but the main reason why I brought this up is because it is a power element file. In World, it was like they always prefixed it as power element file, so if it was an impact file, it was just power file, and then power element file is just so they just reverted back to the old naming conventions for files. Now the thing is, the main reason why I'm looking at this is because Frosty Canth or Aurora Somnicanth is the dominant ice element with 71 base element, and then this is 210. It might look like a lot, but remember the conversion system was copied over from 4U, so this 210 is just divided by 10 just based on conversions, and its base element is 21, which is abysmal. Now of course they could change the actual element amount, but based on what I've seen of Gold Rathian and Silver Rathlos, most of the stats stayed primarily the same. So unfortunately, based on Iceborne's iteration of Velkhana, this will not topple Frosty Canth for super spam. Now I'm not saying it's bad. It's a gorgeous weapon. At the very least, it's a really good layered weapon, especially if you have like white layered armors, or like anything that goes well with white and sky blue or whatever. But I don't think I'll be running this as is. Of course, we're just gonna wait until Tuesday for the final verdict. Now, another quick conversion. I just want to see how much raw it actually has. So 936, and then it turns up that it has 220 or 260 base raw. That's really low, especially for a master rank weapon. Again, its values can change, but it's not looking too good for Velkhana's weapon, at least. And then here's the reference for Somnicanth. So it's 60 higher raw and like 50, like exactly 50 more elements. So this isn't going to topple any ice weapons for super spam. Now, moving on to the armor. Let me try pulling that up real quick. So if it will load. So it looks like we're getting the alpha set. So I'm gonna look at both of them, but let's just look at the skill spread on all three of them. So primarily, can't see the skills from here, unfortunately. So here we go. So you get coalitions, quick sheath, crit draw, and the set bonus is increases element damage whenever you land critical hits. So that's pretty good. But unfortunately, with super spam, you do not care about critical hits. So this is basically a dead skill for just super spam. For a spinning axe, it's a wonderful skill because crit builds are the name of the game. So that's really good for crit builds in general. So it's not like it's totally ignored for Charge Blade, but one half of the playstyles are ignored. Then let's have a look at the beta set. I'm going to close these down because it might be eating at my processor. So then there we go. And then it's just more the same. Volcano Divinity. Yeah. So one thing I missed right here, it was whenever you sheath your weapon, the boost applies. And that's wait, no. So the first 2-point ability is that you get the flat increase to element, but if you have 4 pieces, you get frost protection, I guess, on your weapon whenever you sheath. I don't know. Yeah, it raises attack, so it's basically just built for longsword, given that it's quick sheath and then crit draw. So that we do not care about that either. So if it stays as is, you're just gonna run Volcana for the element boost. That's it. And for the first time, you're actually gonna prioritize spinning axe over super spam. And then here's just more the same. Now you have a bit more points. You get resuscitate, recovery up, and ice attack, and all that good stuff. So it's pretty much just a longsword set, and it's not gonna do too much for us. Pretty good. Like the element boost is pretty good, but everything else is kind of just meh. It's kind of like Narwa at that point. Narwa Ibushi. So yeah. And then that's all I have to say about Volcana. Again, all of this is just purely speculation, so all of this could be changed, augmented to be like, oh, it's more tailored to more than just longsword. But as it stands right now, I'm not looking too much into like the Iceborne version of Volcana. If they tweak it and all that good stuff, then of course it could be meta. But if they just copy paste it, then I don't think it will do too much for Charge Blade specifically. And yeah. And then let's move on to Riz and Valstrax. Now, we don't really have a precedent for Riz and Valstrax because it went straight into Crimson Glow and then just got basically a copy paste of the master, or not the master rank, but like the base Valstrax with some extra points and skills. So it's just like we don't really know how good it is now, given that it has a unique soul ability, or like like a unique soul ability. I'm guessing we'll get Dragonheart as a decoration, that would be great because that would give a pretty hefty boost to Rob and Dragon. So yeah. But yeah, be harder than like, well, of course it'll be harder, but of the Risen so far, I think the most annoying one is Teostra, and I kind of struggled with that matchup until I actually just picked it up. So Valstrax is one of my least hunted monsters in the game, so this will be fun once Tuesday rolls around because it'll be hard mode Valstrax. Now, um, since all Risens have like some sort of boost to their supernova or equivalent, I'm guessing they didn't show us ambush, so that might change to be like Flaming Espenos's like double nuke or something like that. I'm not promising or expecting it, but I would err on the caution of expecting it. Like Capcom wants to make these monsters harder, so uh, expect Valstrax to have some kind of bullshit move. So yeah. Now, in the trailer, it did show Valstrax's hammer. I don't think that was like a risen weapon. It's just base Valstrax paired with the risen Valstrax armor. And yeah, I'm looking more forward to the Valstrax armor than the Valkana armor now that I looked at like all this. But who knows? Both could be viable. We won't know until Tuesday, which is the 7th. Or, yeah. So it'll be the 7th. And you can't fight this guy until 160. So, yeah. Not much to say about that. And then they actually listed the moves shown in the trailer, so yeah, this is base Valstrax after flicks laser. Okay, yeah, so it looks like the double laser beam or the double Kamehameha gets buffed with like another follow up after that. So after it fires the laser, raises it and slams it back down, it just unleashes like a barrage of like those Dragon Balls. And then Crimson Twister extends both wings. Yeah, we're gonna just have to fight this because I can't picture this. Turns Valstrax into a buzzsaw. I'm just like, okay. And then this is what the new armor looks like. I'm not sure if like I like the design. Like it looks cool and all jet like and all that good stuff, but I like the old one where it looks like you're a Power Ranger. This kind of makes it look like you're a Power Ranger villain, so you know. And then of course they have the speculation that it will have a risen Valstrax mantle skill. And then yeah, we're making the same deductions here that Dragonheart will become some kind of decoration. So yeah. But that should be the end of the discussion for the title update. Like we get more stuff. Farming will be easier and all that. But one thing I just want to see is a afflicted version of the rampage weapon. So like instead of using rampage materials, you dump all the afflicted materials to upgrade it to master rank. That's just the only thing left on my wish list. At this point, everything else has been met on my wish list, like layered weapons and all that good stuff. But yeah. So, I think that should be everything. And then I'm just gonna check the chat real quick. Yeah, so for raw attacks, I noticed that when converting from world to rise, like the plated wraths or the metal wraths had their base values tweaked to be in line with other weapons. So I definitely see like Velkhana receiving some degree of buffs, but again, we won't know until Tuesday for like whether the stats will be as they are in World or whether they'll just rework the weapon entirely. So it just really depends on what drops on Tuesday. And then yeah. And then I promised some hunts, so I'm gonna swap over. So give me a minute to swap, and we'll get back to it. Question: did you guys hear all of that for the first 17 minutes or so? Rip. So yeah, basically Velcana ends up being roughly 21 base element, so it's too low to contest Frostycanth for super spam. I'm not sure if it'll have natural purple, but it looks like it might. And it'll be decent for spinning axe, but that's about it. But its layered armor is gorgeous, so I'm gonna run it as a layered armor at most. Or not at most, but at the very least I'll run it as a layered armor. Yeah, I should focus on the hunt instead of talking, but you know. Neat. Yeah, Volcana, I'm looking forward to the fight, but I believe that Capcom needs to rework like the stats of the weapon, because if we're looking at an element file with 21 element, it's not going to be too good for damage. That double shock trap is good. I like it. Triple shock trap? Let's go. And I have Intrepid Heart charged up. Cool, cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the fights for sure, but like I'm just looking at whether I'll be using their gear long term. Because right now it's just pretty much just the current sets with like max attack, max all that good stuff. So you know, it really depends on whether or not this title update will be sustaining for the next 2 months. Because we're only getting 20 levels of anomaly rank, and it's supposed to hit 300 by title update 5. So that's like it'll take like maybe two or three full sessions of bulldozing through anomaly ranks to get the max, and then after that you're just done. And we don't know what decorations we're getting as well. So if we get like attack up decorations, that'll be a huge boost in power. Um, or crit boost or all that good stuff. Those will definitely change how we build sets. But as is, the current pieces that we are confirmed to get aren't too exciting. Like unlike with the last update where we had like 3 completely brand new monsters, which have zero precedent for how their skills look. This current one, it can be good if they rework stuff. Let's phrase it like that. And then yeah, so I kind of changed my current setup. So this is my new armor set. It looks similar to my old one, but the main difference is that I'm using the Kushala cape. My old one was, what was it? It was this one. So this is my old one. It's primarily just green, so I was basically forced to use the antique charge blade. The cape is flowier and it just kind of meshes with my character better, but I like this one. It's more dark nighty. Has like the glowing basil geese arms and legs to be like, oh, these are power files in my hand. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. But this one, like the color change is a lot more forgiving, so you could use like any charge blade you want. Like let's change it from red to blue. Yeah, it's like if you wanted to run a blue charge blade, there you go. But yeah, black is always cool though. So yeah, pretty much just done with farming at this point because I already got all the decorations I needed, all the finishing pieces I needed, and I'm just all set for update 4. One thing I did go through the trouble of was farming all the risen decorations. So with this, I burned a few points on latent power, and then I got the 4 decorations for each of the blessing. Oh yeah, I'm short one, but I have the materials to make one. I just need to farm a Barioth. But yeah. And then this is my current build. It's nothing too shabby. It's pretty good. It's not the max DPS set because I don't want to deal with too much life drain. But this one's pretty fun when you run Intrepid Heart as a staple skill. But yeah, speaking of Barioth, I think I could go tackle one in high rank just because I don't really want to deal with the afflicted version. So let me pull up. Yep. So yeah. So Risen Valstrax, it's definitely getting some kind of mantle skill. I'm not sure what it'll do because like what's one step above Dragonheart. So that's one thing I don't know about the next update because we don't know if it's gonna pump more into dragon elements or if it's gonna go all out raw as it does with its base skills. So it could go either way, but it's gonna probably boost something damage wise, similar to Dragonheart. But I'm guessing we are getting a Dragonheart decoration, so we could just buff our impact file builds with max power Dragonheart, and then just output element file levels of damage. That would be great, but I'm not expecting it to be that meta changing. So let me look for a high rank Barioth. I don't want to. There we go. But looking at the Kushala and Teostra pieces, I think they're just gonna make it super broken for no reason. Like the Valstrax armor, if you run it as like a in a full set, it might just be busted because that's how the original sets were designed to be. You never really ran it as like part of a set. You just ran it as a full set, and then you'll get the full bonuses and all that good stuff. But who knows? I'm just following this guy. But yeah, so far I'm liking this layered armor. I've like using the Malzeno Charge Blade has been on my list of Charge Blades to use because it looks like a Kingdom Hearts weapon. So I'm really liking this particular setup because it matches and I'm all fashionable and all that good stuff. Yeah, I did that because I knew it was gonna try charging at us. Or wait. Oh yeah, I have a few like futuristic type of layers, but I haven't gotten around to using them. It's not that I don't like those type of designs. It's just like uh, I just like using my usual sets. It's pretty like the fashion design in this game or post world has gotten pretty extensive with layered armors. So I'm just glad that they let us dress how we want and play how we want. That's part of the that's part of the fun. Aside from just hunting the monsters. That part break is good. Let me get the KO. Oh, that tail cut is good. Good hunt, good hunt. Yeah, are you talking about the Baki armor? Like it's basically like a tunic and then you're just like a muscle man? Yes, okay. Yeah, I missed that. I also missed the Magi great sword. It was basically like a dagger and then it would just extend into a full sword when you drew it. It was great. Too bad it never got to exist within like the layer version of Monster Hunter. But I would have used that. I would be a great sword main just for that weapon or that layer. And then let's see if I could actually craft it now. But truly feels bad moment when you go farming for something and you get 0 of the thing you want. And it isn't a mantle. Like mantles, I get it. 3% chance, but for non-mantle materials and you get like 0, I'm just like, I broke every part. I slayed it as specified by the reward thing, and I still get nothing. And if I capped, it would have been a lower chance. So, what am I doing wrong here? Yeah, a lot of people are climbing, or not climbing, but like just clearing out lower rank quests. I like that. What are these guys doing? Well, good luck with that. So I'm just gonna wait over here. Oh no. Gotta mash. Okay. So yeah, I really don't like fighting Valstrax. It's a fun fight, but with Charge Blade, it's kind of a rough matchup. It's not like I would rather swap to dual blades for Valstrax. Honestly, I'm kind of reluctant with admitting that, but there is basically no good time to like counter with super spam, and then there's also like the whole element thing. So your best damage output is basically invalidated. Like it's spinning axe hit zones are definitely like generous, but the changes they did to it in Rise made it basically guarantee the sicko mode. And then yeah. And then the current build I'm using has been the same spinning axe build I've been using for the last like 2 streams. So it's basically Violet Mitsutsume and then just like the pieces I've been showcasing. So I'll showcase it after the hunt. Like augments are basically any level 2 slots or better, or level 2 skills with damage or better. Ooh, tail cut. Yeah, so So yeah, for my favorite monster, I have like a few. So let me grab that tail card first. So for super spam, the crabs are my favorite monster to fight just because they have abysmal elemental resistances. So it's just like you zap them once and they're basically dead faster than any other monster that you would take element file into. But in terms of like all round, I think Flaming Espinos would be my favorite monster in this game. Just because it has good gear, it has a good fight where you have to respect everything, otherwise you'll cart, and you have to just have good fundamentals overall. And then yeah. Like, I don't really like not Valstrikes. Valstrikes is a fun fight when I'm not playing, like, Super Spam Charge Blade. But Spinning Axe makes his fight a lot more fun. But yeah, I could tell you without a shadow of a doubt what my least favorite monster to fight is, and that's Rakna. Basically has a bad element file matchup, it has a bad spinning axe matchup, and you're forced to use impact file. That's just bad game design in my opinion. Pyre Kadaki does a better job at mitigating that because throughout the fight you get good water hit zones, so you could take advantage of those whenever it enters those states. But base Rakna is like my least favorite fight in this game. And I forgot to mention, Almadron. Yeah, I actually like his fight a lot. First of all, I don't wear his helm for nothing, because I like its design. It reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, so I always just slap it on a layered set even if it's not gonna match. And yeah, Magmadron is pretty good too. It's a bit more annoying because the lava actually hits you instead of just slows you down. So it's just like you have more stuff to watch out for. But it's basically the same as base Almadron. And then, okay, so here's my armor set as promised. So I'll show the pieces. The decorations are you just fit them in as necessary. So it's Risen Kushala helm, Risen Teostra chest, and then Flaming Espinos arms and legs, and then the Kushala waist. And then I rolled this like right after the third update rolled around, so I'm like, cool. Now I could run it. Yeah, so unfortunately I am a Kingdom Hearts fan. Um it's a huge rabbit hole, so only play the first game if you just want to enjoy the game and the series. Otherwise, after that it's just narrative pain. Cause it gets so much more convoluted and complex. It's no longer simple and clean. But yeah, I'll still play every game regardless. Like the gameplay is actually really fine tuned for a game as crazy as it is. But like story wise, it's taken a huge hit by making Sora the everyman, and then he's too like in Kingdom Hearts 1 he was like that innocent child who wants to save his friends, and then after that it's like his friends are saved, now what? Oh, you gotta take down this organization. It basically became Naruto in a way. Okay, Chain of Memories. I played the GBA version first, but it was because I was borrowing it from a like friend. So it wasn't. I didn't beat it on the Game Boy Advance. I played it again on PlayStation. But basically, like the novelty of the card game kind of wore off on me, so I didn't go through the trouble of playing the Riku side of it because A, he didn't have any healing, and then B, I already watched like the cutscenes on YouTube before actually playing the game. So it was just like I already knew the story. I didn't want to slug through the actual gameplay just for the sake of doing the gameplay. And one more barrier. Cool. Yeah, so whenever it's entering its like glowing state, it just drops everything down to zero. So like basically all of your element damage is doing zero damage. And to my knowledge with the matchup, Valstrax or Crimson Glow Valstrax gets a guaranteed enrage or like glowing state at the start of the hunt. So it's like it's just a bad idea to take any element damage into a Valstrax hunt in general. It's unlike with base Valstrax where you could always like interrupt it if you hit it hard enough. Crimson Glow always gets that guaranteed, and then after that you have the second chance to do it after it's like starting to like rev down or whatever. I could hunt Barioth later. Wait, what quest is this? I know I completed it because I did all the quests, but I don't know what we're hunting here. I think it might be, based on the name, I'm assuming it's a crab quest. Yeah, it's a crab quest. Let me pull up my zap set. Yeah. What happened there? Well, I'll go tackle this one. But yeah, the timing and everything became tighter in Sunbreak. I know they wanted to make it hard, but was it really necessary? Oh yikes, what the heck? I barely even touched it. So since the host carded on a crab quest, I'm assuming he's trying to get carried. I don't mind carrying him because I'm just doing what I consider community service. But basically, yeah, I just like fighting the crabs anyways, so it doesn't matter. Like, at least he's trying. Or she. Because not everyone's a guy, right? Yeah, that 1000 damage file? Yes. No, I think the gunner was also like contributing a hefty amount. So it's like we both pop in with our endgame gear on a beginner quest. I'm just like, hey brother. But yeah, for low rank quests, I don't really mind carrying people because one, a lot of them actually participate in the hunt. So as long as that condition is met, I honestly don't care. Um, the second I do give a hoot is when someone's just sitting at camp and expecting you to do the hunt for them. That's the type of carrying I do not condone. But yeah. Like, it doesn't matter where you start, as long as you make an effort to start and climb on up, then I'll help you out. Yeah, bow gunners. I like bow gunners whenever they pop up. Despite them being overpowered as shit, I'm just like, that's good. Because one, a lot of them start spamming traps like no tomorrow. So it's just like, your quest is made that much easier because you could stay buzzsawing the monster or position perfectly so you land all of your files on like a very good hit zone. So I'm not gonna complain about bow gunners or hunting horn users ever because they contribute like a lot to the hunt. Yeah, the only time I like don't like it when someone pops up if they're carting all the time and just straight up making the quest harder. Um, that's when I'm just like, bruh, please, please no. Like in endgame hunts, I'm expecting someone to cart, so that's fine. But if you're carting to fairly avoidable attacks and you just get one shot, I'll want you to, you know, level up before tackling these quests. Yeah, that's one thing. If it's like a full bowgun party, that's fairly common. One thing I just wait for is for the monster to go down and then I start unleashing damage. Otherwise, I'm just like, get in hits where you can. Try to predict where it will be so you could just be there when it is. So it's not like a cut and dry type of solution, unfortunately. Like with the Teostra hunts, it was just like three bowgunners and me, and then it was just bumper carring between them, and then I was just like, "Get over here, you coward!" So it just depends on their positioning as a unit, and how much you can abuse morphing advance primarily, because evade extender is fundamentally just slower than morphing advance, especially with Kushala Mantle. It's just there isn't really a reason to um, run evade extender once you get the Kushala Mantle. What are we fighting? Oh god. Wait, did I change the equipment? Oh, right. Good thing Gold Wrath is weak to thunder. No. Run away. Bruh. What quest did I log into? Nope, we're just shielding this. Yes, I have. I have played Monster Hunter for you. I started on for you. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I started on for you since it was on the 3DS. Unless you had like the modded 3DSs, you couldn't really stream it with good quality. So I didn't really bother. But yeah, basically, it was like I got to I cleared the game. I didn't 100% it like with GU, but basically I had it was like my first game to get my toes wet. So yeah, and then once GU rolled or Generations and then GU rolled around, I was like, what happened to Charge Blade? And then everything was just like super nerfed. It wasn't fun. I still played Charge Blade for like 1,000 something hunts, and then I beat the game. It wasn't um yeah. Like sometimes I just boot up my old file. I'm like, what was I doing with this build? And then it had like max attack, hone blade, and like artillery on it. It was just like a max DPS build, but no guard or guard up. I'm like, why am I dying when I guard? And then that's why. So yeah, I got better at set building just by kind of just looking at the armor pieces themselves and be like, oh, this is a priority, this is a priority, and then all that good stuff. But yeah, one of my favorite charge blades of all time, design wise, is the Shrouded Nursilla charge blade. That was badass. I want that to be in a future game. I don't care which one, as long as A, Nursilla comes back, and then B, the charge blade comes back as in a game where there's a layer, because it was a really good layer or a really good charge blade design. Yeah, for anomaly quests, like up until what is it? Let me double check. Up until like HR, like I want to say 140 or 150 or something. Uh, it'll give you both afflicted hides and then also the next tier up. So let's check. So for afflicted hides, it would give so yeah, you would get afflicted hides and then like the next tier up. Yeah, let me check the quest board real quick because that's a better indicator of what to. Yeah, I have nothing but 100, but let's just try lowering it. There we go. Okay, so yeah. Um for Azuchi and like the materials regarding like the base like hide shells and uh fangs, all of those cap out at 200. So you could post anything ranging from 101 to 100 and 200, and you'll get a thick hide on those monsters. Whereas these guys start dropping higher tier, like it goes all the way up to like magma or almadron, and then the tier up starts dropping different materials. So hope that helps you for that. So basically 101 to 100 or 101 to 200, if you tackle any Izuchi quest, you'll get a thick hide. And then for Monster Hunter 4U, honestly, Charge Blade is cracked in that one. The only difference is that the way it works is a bit jarring, because if you pop at the time it was called an Ultra AED or Ultra ED. Basically it consumes your shield charge as well as your files. So basically don't miss. Impact File is just obnoxious in that game because you're getting the KO, part breaks, and absurd damage. But I haven't like gone back and checked if element files even remotely viable. So that might be something to consider. Like of course impact file is just better for progression because you just build the one impact file, upgrade it until you get a better weapon. But another thing is that upgrades require monster or parts from multiple monsters. So it's like for let's say like the Rachnakodaki Charge Blade, you need Teostra, Rachnakodaki, Rathlos, and like some other fire monster. It wouldn't be just Rachnakodaki parts primarily and then just one or two parts from another monster like in Sunbreak. Like in GU they made that change and then they went back to it in Sunbreak, because while I was going over the progression guide, I noticed for Rachnakodaki, let me check. Yeah, for Rachnakodaki it's like you need Rachna parts, but you also need Teostra parts and then afflicted parts. So it's like, yeah. So they went back to the older style for Sunbreak. But unlike in Sunbreak, the material requirements are a lot higher. You'll see like 4 or like 5 as an average for a specific part you need. So it's like you'll spend more time farming than you will in Sunbreak. And the RNG is a little bit less forgiving. So just be prepared for that increased farming. And then, yeah. I'll do one more hunt, and then I think I'll call it for today. Oh yeah, one thing I kind of noticed, since you don't really care about raw attack on element files because most of your damage is coming from your file damage, you can run the defense grinder decoration to mitigate your sharpness loss, because what it does is that it negates all sharpness loss while guarding, and one of your biggest ways to lose sharpness is through the guard. So stacked on top of your guard up and guard skills, you could just negate your sharpness loss and act as like a super roided version of Razor Sharp. That's one thing I noticed. I've been messing around with it a bit on primarily on the spinning axe set. So instead of going for the rampage upgrade, I just went for raw attack and then slapped on the decoration, or slapped on the defense grinder decoration, and I've been staying in purple for the entirety of a hunt. So that's really cool in my opinion. And then while farming the Risen monsters, I found out that it actually keeps you in purple because you just ignore the supernova, since it would otherwise just rip through your bars of sharpness. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then one thing I want to note is that you can block everything in the game except for Flaming Espinos's like nuke, ambush, and then I think there's one more. But basically, those two moves are the ones you want to watch out for. Now with Risen Valstrax, there might be another version of ambush. And then Velkhana might have unblockable attack as well, just to keep it on par with Flaming Espinos. So that's pretty cool. And then yeah, so let's queue into a Great Azuchi quest. I'll set it to 101. And then let's just farm those afflicted hides. This is just to make sure my tip isn't bogus. It's just to make sure that, yes, it works. For title update 5, Amatsu. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. Like, it's part of the reason why I like Aerial Charge Blade in general, because that was a really good matchup, because you just catapult off of its tail. And then you just dunk on it. It was pretty cool. So I'm gonna swap here. Do I want to do this? No, that's my old set. I haven't updated. But yeah, Amatsu, primarily because its Charge Blade is a really good weapon in terms of design. I'm not sure if they're gonna rework the stats, but it's definitely gonna go in my layer collection, because it came out in GU for the Charge Blade, so it didn't come with a layer, which is one of the biggest missed opportunities. So let's set this to 101. Yeah, okay. And then I'm just going to tackle this with the Horn Duo. But aside from that, I'm expecting Risen Shigaru Magala. Not gonna be expecting more than that. If we get more, I'll be grateful. But I'm assuming if we get Amatsu, we might get another like final boss for Sunbreak related content, like a super version of Narwa, Allmother, or whatchamacallits, Malzeno. So he's over here. Let's break that tail real quick. There we go. Yeah, truth be told, I farmed way too much Izuchi, so I just basically react to all of his attacks without much issue. Now, yeah, it's an easy monster for a reason, but the fact that they souped it up to make you hunt it, I'm just like, I feel bad for Izuchi in general. But yeah, the follower thing, that was the biggest uh, boost for me. Because, one, if there isn't a quest, you could just pop in and be like, oh, this is a quest I want to do, and I could bring additional support. Pretty cool. But yeah, there was that instance of time where I couldn't stay in a quest without like disconnecting, so I was just like, I'm just gonna farm with followers now. So that was a really good thing. So let me just, yeah, this one's 101. You get like 2 afflicted quests, and then yeah. But yeah, I never taken super spam for Izuchi or any of the great monsters because one, spinning axe does a lot of damage anyways. You could connect pretty easily on the head, but two, it's so hard to land files on the noodle, like the raptor noodles. Like their hit zones are basically a noodle. It's even thinner than a Somnicanth or Auroracanth, so it's just like I have no reason to like not use spinning axe. Then let's just double check. So basically what we're trying to see, will the afflicted thick hide ever change? At 101 it stays the same, and then all the way up to 192 it stays at thick hide. So basically follow the listed materials and it'll always give that material. Now whether it gives additional stuff like thick claw, you could just check on rewards. But basically, yeah, just hunt 101 to 200 and you should be good. And yeah, I think that's all I have for now. I'm not gonna live stream like the update because I'm just gonna post the whatchamacallit, the build guide on that Saturday. Partly because I want to have enough time to farm all the pieces, but yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a problem since we are only getting 20 levels of anomaly rank. But with this lapse update, if you noticed in the update video, I kind of just told you what to build instead of actually showcasing it. That was because I was in the process of grinding that 80 levels. I want to avoid that this time. So yeah, I want to give the best type of content for the videos I'm posting. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Feel free to comment on whether or not you want other types of content like me playing Dual Blades or something. I could do that. But yeah. I'll end the stream here. Thank you for watching and have a good one. Happy hunting.